Live from the Student Union on campus, this is Gold Mine Live. Your weekly all-access pass inside Charlotte Athletics is brought to you by Ortho Carolina, proud to present the 2017 Charlotte 49ers football season. Bojangles, it's bow time. Your Carolina Ford dealers. Go to yourfordchoice.com and enter the Adventure Ready giveaway to win a 2017 Escape or Fusion from your Carolina Ford dealers. Harris Teeter, where 49ers fans shop for groceries. University Eye Associates. And by Wells Fargo. Charlotte 49er fans, show your pride with a customized Wells Fargo debit card. Stop by your nearest Wells Fargo or visit Wells Fargo Card Design Studio online to learn more. Now, here's your host, the voice of the 49ers, Matt Swerad.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Gold Mine Live here at the Student Union. It's our final coaches show of the 2018 year. And, well, at least this portion of it will be back in the fall with football. But wrapping things up last week with basketball. And the men's basketball team finished up the season on Saturday, beating FAU at home. On senior night, big night for Austin Ojukwu. And also this past week, came out today that John Davis was named the Conference USA Co-Player of the Week. So great things there going out to finish the season. The women also had a good week beating Old Dominion and FAU, and going on now to the conference tournament this week, and catch all the action for that on charlotte49ers.com with Josh Feldman starting in Frisco, Texas this week. So today we turn our attention to the spring sports, softball and baseball with head coaches Aimee DeVos and Loren Hibbs, and I'm joined by Sean Fox as well this week. And Aimee DeVos joining us first, talking softball. Coach, great to see you again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So you guys, it may be, getting close to springtime, but you've been playing for a while now. It's a point where you guys start in February and just came back from California, so it's been a long trip last couple of, I'm sure, days for you finishing up there, coming back here, and getting ready for a big week this week.
Most definitely. We've been, actually games have been going on for about four and a half weeks now, and obviously we start right when classes start back in January, so it's, for us, it's, it's kind of, there's nothing new about it at this point. We've had some opportunities, obviously, to be at home, go on the road, get ourselves pretty well battle tested with a lot of different shapes and sizes and caliber of teams for competition, and we're headed into another big week going into the weekend with them then starting off our first Conference USA play. But we were just out this morning and just walked off the field with practice, so there's no time to rest. You got to readjust coming back from West Coast time and get back at it here on the East Coast.
Duke and Carolina this week. Before we talk about this week and what's going to be coming up going forward, a big tournament last weekend. Some great competition going out to California. A couple of top 25 teams. Another one in Stanford that not in the top 25, but a good program. What do you guys take from a weekend like that?
I think, going into it, everybody knew and everybody can put their labels on the numbers. But even opening up with Michigan on the first day, it was a great game, and the game was going back and forth. And, one play kind of changes an inning and they score their runs. But I never felt, and I don't think our team ever felt at any point, hey, we're just completely dominated. We can't handle this. It continued on. We have matchups with, like you said, Stanford that night. And I think that one of the things, and even with Baylor, it's just been one particular player, one inning that has changed the tides for us lately in those big opponents. But, yeah, you were walking around with a lot of heavies in the area. We got canceled out with Florida. Just due to weather. And so I think, it was, like I said, you got to take your kids and you want to go ahead and put them up against the best. You have a veteran team, so there's no reason that they can't handle that. Seniors all over the place and juniors who have been on the field since day one. So it wasn't as if we were just trying to throw anybody into the wolves. We want to truly prepare ourselves and go see what it was about. And it was also a bonus. We have several players from Southern California, and so it was a nice opportunity to take them home for a change and let them be the home crowd.
Back in Conference USA for the second time around, softball's gotten so much bigger in this league compared to when we spent those 8 years in the A-10. You've seen the program grow and the new challenges that you're facing with this stiffer competition in the league, and 24 years now here. So talk about the progression to where you are right now.
Well, I think definitely, as you say, coming off of the A-10 and the change, and what we see in Conference USA is a weekend battle every weekend. There's no any terms to feel that there's a weekend off. With a 3-game series, the nice part is somebody's going to come away a winner. There's no ties as if it could be in the past. I think that we see, especially too on the east side, if you pick them, head to toe, the east side will fill up the 1 through 8 slots a lot quicker than the west. So we play a crossover, and we also play a full east side division schedule within that. But I think that this year, as we go into it and we look at it, we have a lot of expectations of what this team should achieve in conference play. But, we know that at the end of the day, you got to go in and get every series and go 2 out of 3, and that's ultimately the goal. So we go 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. It gives you that opportunity to walk away and be in a good position come early April, so that we're not looking to scramble or anything, or what you got to do. You got to run the table on anybody. But I think, like I said, we're doing all our prep work and putting all the work in. It's been a very dedicated group, so I have no reason to believe that they're not going to be prepared for it.
Have any jet lag this morning with that early workout coming back from California?
So far, so good. Ask me in about 2 hours, and it might actually sink in at that point.
A little quiet here right now because, of course, it's spring break. I got on campus today. I forgot it was spring break. Not a lot of activity, but you're hoping for some good crowds with Duke and North Carolina coming this week at your place.
Most definitely, and we've always been very fortunate that we can get the ACC, the SEC matchups in the softball community. That's something as a very good give and take. And so, back-to-back, a little unusual that we'd be playing back-to-back, but as you mentioned, we are on spring break, so a little bit less load on the athletes. And, Duke opening up their season and coming in here for a doubleheader, and then always our continued rivalry back and forth with Chapel Hill.
Well, Coach, you've mentioned you've played for about a month now. You've had some close wins. You've had some close losses. You talked about the caliber of teams you saw out in California. How much of that is going to prepare the team moving forward as you start conference play?
Most definitely, and that's the piece, is trying to figure out how to get over that hump. It seems as if things are not great things are happening with 2 outs. We got to be able to get off the field with 2 outs, kill those rallies that are happening against us. And we have, early on we won some extra inning ball games, so that's always a positive. And we go out, and play this last weekend. Obviously literally some of the best teams in the country. And I think that, overall we saw that what you can be. You see what another team you stack up against player for player, where they're at. There's no holes in their lineup. There's no gimmies in any spot in the order. So I think there's no batters off. You shouldn't be taking one anyhow. But sometimes in that case, you may look down here in the lower part. But, it was a battle all the way through. So your defense, your pitching staff, and in your offense, you got to take advantage of those opportunities when they present ourselves. And making sure a runner gets on second base, we got to find a way to knock her in.
Extra inning win opening day, and opening day was moved up a day because of weather. So you have all that anticipation going into the new season, and then all of a sudden you have to rush into it a day sooner. Positive, negative?
I think it was positive because that meant they didn't have to practice against each other for another day. So they were very welcome and open to it. Nobody wants to miss opening day. We're fortunate in our sport that we do start and open up on a Thursday if that's your availability. But with the weather and some flexibility, you definitely have more flexibility with teams early on with scheduling or rescheduling. And, so the same hype and the same excitement was definitely there. And just like I said, it just knocked them out of a day of practice earlier.
Well, when you started the season back on February the 14th, you had the renaming of your facility, the stadium, now the Sue Daughtridge Stadium. Talk about that and how the facility has really grown over the last, 10 years, even in the last 5 years, just the different additions you've had and taken to the next step.
Most definitely. A great day for us, a great day for women's softball here at Charlotte. And the fact that the kind donation from the Daughtridge family to enable us as we move forward to add, a spectacular hitting facility it's in the process, all the plans and builders are being picked and so forth at this point in time. It'll give us an opportunity that we've never had. We can stay on campus in inclement weather. We can go inside. We can hit. We can be anywhere year-round. We quote never going to get rained out. Spacing. We can have our pitchers inside and our hitters. Just be a first-class facility as it's finished. The drawings look wonderful. And, we've added we'll be continuing to add some other things to the facility. But like you said, over the last 10 years, there's been huge strides in where we've come. And I know there's more on the horizon of what our athletics facilities can have. So I think that we've been put in a very good spot. But like I said, just the generosity is incredible, and that their family wanted to reach out and extend their hand to the softball program.
Recruiting now, it's so much of it, kids seeing what you have, what the facilities are like, and it's going to put you right up there with anybody in the Southeast.
Most definitely. They want to see what you have. That's what kids see, and, they want to be able to train year-round. They want to make sure that they can keep their game, at their top level, and there's no really opportunities for any types of days off. And so that definitely will do that, and that should be, an addition that we see here ready to go in the fall.
We'll take a time out of the show with Coach Aimee DeVos, come back with more, talk about some individual players, some of the strengths this team has right now going in towards conference schedule time as we get into the spring months now. That's coming up next as we continue with Gold Mine Live, softball, baseball this week on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month. the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series, including Motor Trend's Truck of the Year F-150. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner.
Now during Ford Truck Month, get a 2018 F-150 with $11,000 total savings. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow. Hotel.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Welcome back to Gold Mine Live. Matt Swarad, Sean Fox, and head coach Aimee DeVos of the Niner women's softball team. And, Coach, as we continue talking about this season, let's go back to the big win, the walk-off win you had against Radford. That was your 600th career win. It came on February the 16th. Getting an eighth-inning walk-off win must have capped off what was a special day for you.
Definitely. You think back and had several, early players reach out and talk about the days that they were there when we first got started, and it really puts a lot of, it's sentimental, and it puts a lot of really worth into where you've been and what you've done. I think that more importantly, for us and the team, it was great to win in those extra innings because those are one of the things that I think in the past we've had some struggle with, and so we've already done that here in a couple instances already this spring. But yeah, I think that it's great, and I'm excited to be a part of it, and just ultimately, though, you're just looking for the next one.
Sure, and you hope that next one comes tomorrow when you take on Duke, and then get North Carolina this weekend on Wednesday. So as you look at this team and where you are right now, any surprises in terms of you thought you'd be a little bit better here, or you're better than where you thought you would be, and where do you want to get better going forward?
I think one of the really positives is how our pitching staff has been throwing. I think that was a little bit of a question mark going in beyond Haley Wiseman. How are we going to do? How are we going to, get that game too, et cetera? And as a group, they really have done their job. They've done what we've asked them to do. They've controlled the games. They've given us the ground balls. They've given us the pop-ups. And so that's been a really big plus. We feel like, okay, yes, we have this piece working. Now we're trying to figure out why is the offense not clicking with them all the time, and still waiting for that opportunity to happen. You have a very lot of talented bats, kids who have proven success, and looking to trying to figure out, okay, why are we not getting that? And, we got to put the ball in play more. And you've got to be able to score with runners in scoring position. So you still have, like I said, we have some tremendous players, and we're just kind of waiting for that button to click with them, and it's going to kind of all come back into place.
I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned pitching because, for folks that maybe aren't familiar with softball, it's a little different. You think baseball, it's so pitching-oriented. If you don't have good pitching, you're not going to win. What is it like in softball? Do you have to have that ace, or can you win with somebody that maybe is not at the top of the game?
Most definitely. That's what sets the top programs apart, the ace in the circle. And, as we differ a little bit, too, is she can come back and throw a game, too, if need be, or throw on multiple days during the week. So, we have 5 pitchers on staff, and we've been very fortunate in that, and I think the pitchers have come together and they realize, Haley's our number one. We all know that. There's no secret to that. But then how are we going to attack game 2? And all 4 of them have done a really good job in being role pitchers, and we talk about breaking down the game. You've got 9 outs, you've got 6 outs, and that's what they're doing, and that's how they're going about it. So I think that's been, as far as a different adjustment for them, because they've been a part of the staff than what we've had before. And, you've always, and we can always as coaches, harp that, hey, you need to be a role player, but the pitching staff has definitely bought in.
Tell us about Haley Page. Just broke the home run record now at 32. Tremendous play for you. Great student athlete as well.
And you hit the nail on the head. She's probably even better than great, if there is such a term for it. And on the field, she's the ultimate leader for this team. The ultimate respect that they give for her, and they appreciate her abilities and how she does it. But it continues when she leaves the field. She's a 4.0 student. She's going to graduate. She's going to go back to school already and get her master's program. She's a recognized leader in the program. And then on the field, sometimes she's just a little bit superhuman. If you sit there and watch her take BP, she's not a big kid, and for her to have a home run record, I think that in her statute and who she is a tribute to. She's an incredible athlete. If you watch her swing the bat, I guarantee you'll just enjoy it. It's all self-made. The kid outworks everybody. She puts the time in, she understands the game, and she does everything we ever ask of her, and usually is ahead of us before we get ready to ask her what to do.
How important is it for somebody like Haley to make that impression upon the newcomers, especially the freshmen coming up from the high school level?
Most definitely. You don't even have to ask her to do it. She gets that. She'll take the time. She's going to make sure that everybody's along on the same ride and that that they understand what Charlotte softball is all about. What are our values and what is it that we expect of you? And I think that when you can look up and see that, you're not going to find really any flaws. She can back it up. She backs it up on the field. She backs it up in the classroom. She's there for her teammates. She's never turned anybody away. I think so that when you can mold all that into one person, that's really a coach's dream.
Well, you hope to stay away from injuries, but you don't. Grace Beatty gets hurt and lost for the year. So how big of a blow is that, and how does it change what you want to do going forward?
That was pretty tough. That was really tough. We've actually had some really bad luck here, and you always think you carry a big roster. Okay, we're up to 19, and now all of a sudden we're actually down 2 kids with injuries. But yeah, that was it was one of those ones. She went down that everybody in the place knew that it was bad, unfortunately. And Grace herself has had just injury bad luck since this will be. She just had her surgery on Friday. This will be her 3rd surgery in 3 years, and I think so. You don't replace that. You don't replace a kid who can knock runs in and carries a 350 batting average. But what we can hope is that we can find a couple of players to bring up those numbers and go from there. There's nothing we can change about it, and as we always do when you have injuries, you got to move on. It's not going to be any good to dwell on it, so we're trying to figure out moving some people around. We've had backups, of course, but we're still working to find that lineup that's going to take place and, to get that person to support Haley Pace in the middle of the order.
One of the freshmen who stepped up, Jude McGow, hitting over 300. So, she's not going to carry the load herself, of course, but you look to piece maybe 3 or 4 people like that in that role.
100%. And there's a kid who did not start off the year as a starter, but she has done everything we have asked from her from day one. And, we just got to a point the other day at the end of the weekend and said she's taken advantage of every opportunity. And what does that get in her? She's in a starting role. She came in the first few games, a few pinch hits, maybe pinch run, get a couple innings, but every time we called upon her, she answered. And, you can't ignore that when they perform and they give you results, and here she is now in a starting role.
How much motivation is there? We're hosting the Conference USA softball tournament here at the end of the year. How much more does that give the players with conference play starting this week to make sure that they're here, they can play on their home field, and then they can represent well?
100%. They're so excited to be able to showcase their facility, their university, and to be home that last weekend. And you got, like I said, we have a large group of seniors, so it's even more of a special feel that they can have that opportunity to do something big at Doutridge Stadium and on their campus with their friends, their families, all in the stands, and eliminating the travel piece of it, because as we do, we travel during finals. And so that makes everything a tad bit easier, I would say. But I think that, too, that, hey, we're coming back to Charlotte. That's something to play for, that we make sure we're there and in that championship game.
You talked about the East Division earlier being a tough slate of teams. What's it like to just run through that gauntlet where it's someone every other weekend coming up that's very tough to play?
Most definitely, and very different styles of teams. You go into one weekend, you're facing, maybe you got the number 1 pitcher in the conference when you get FIU and what they have and their type of, what they play. But then you can go the next weekend and somebody who runs and guns and being able to defend that and keep up with that. So it's a very it's a very diverse crowd as far as what we have on our side of the East Division. Very strong, but we know it's also opponents who, the great thing is you're very familiar with them. You play them every year, so there's no weekends off, and it gives you a good base to what to go from, and we can prepare, in and out and know what we're going to see. And I think that, the kids form their own little rivalries with each team, and who they're gearing up for. They know who's going to come down, and okay, so we've got, FAU in, and hey, what are we going to do to shut down, locked in, or the case. So they're very familiar with it, and I think that our kids are very invested. They love softball. This past weekend we're out on the West Coast. Hey, Coach, can we go over to the field and watch some more softball? Sure, we'll head over there. So, they love the game. They want to be a part of it, and we just want to keep, giving them that love for the game.
Look at this week now. You got Duke and Carolina before you get into conference play. So give us a little bit of a preview of what you got to do to try and get a couple of non-conference wins against these in-state foes.
Well, I think that we've seen Duke, they're a first-year program. We've seen them build really well. They have a nice mixture, as I think you have to be successful in year one with some transfers and not all, total freshman crew. So I think that, really the focus has to be more on us. And that's why we spent some time here this morning as we walked out, when I left the field here, is what are we going to change? So I think that has to be number one, because like I mentioned before, that if we can start getting and get off the field with 2 outs, don't let anything, no run score, no extra base hits. And then also we've got to start scoring some runs. You can't win this game if you don't score. So trying to find that lineup, I wish we would have it by now, but like I said, unfortunately, because of injuries, we've had to dance it around quite a bit. So I think more the focus is on us. They're going to bring the rivalry. There's, now we had another one, an in-state one with Duke coming into town, and so that's great. And, for us, Carolina's Carolina, and that's where it's going to be at. So we don't have to get anybody fired up for those games.
Well, hope it's going to be a great week for you, and good luck stepping into conference play. It's always a pleasure to spend some time with you. Have a great rest of the season. Hope it's a good one.
Thank you so much.
That's head coach Aimee DeVos on our split show today. Our spring sports, softball and baseball. Halfway through it, we'll come back and take this time out to talk to Loren Hibbs, the baseball coach for the Niners, coming up next on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month, the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series, including Motor Trend's Truck of the Year F-150. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner.
Now during Ford Truck Month, get a 2018 F-150 with $11,000 total savings. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel, hotel.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
The Student Athlete of the Week, sponsored by Ortho Carolina, the official team physician of your Charlotte 49ers. This week's Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week is Oriol Puig-Forney. Puig-Forney is a junior on the men's tennis team from Granollers, Spain. He is a standout player for the 49ers and currently leads the team with 17 singles wins. Last season, he was named the team's co-MVP after tying for the team lead with 22 singles wins and winning a team-best 16 doubles matches. Away from the tennis court, Puig-Forney excels as a student. Last season, he earned ITA Scholar Athlete honors, and this season he has been named to the Conference USA Honor Roll and the Fall 2017 Chancellor's List. Oriol Puig-Forney, the Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week. This has been the Ortho Carolina Student Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Ortho Carolina, the official team physician of your Charlotte 49ers.
Welcome back to Go Mine Live with Sean Fox. I'm Matt Swarad, joined by head baseball coach Loren Hibbs now on our split show this week. We thank Coach DeVos for spending some time with us. And now we'll talk about the Niner baseball team coming off a 5-0 week this week. And, Coach, good to see you as always, and a nice start to the year for you.
Really good start. Good week. Anytime you win 5 games in a week, that's a good thing. And we were at Charleston, midweek and ended up winning that game, and then won 4 this weekend. So I'm a little fatigued. Our players are a little fatigued, but we're on spring breaks. We're able to get them in the weight room earlier this morning and get them out there for a little bit of a workout today. So just moving forward.
And, so far, knock on wood, we've had so much rain in the area. It's not really affected you guys too much and getting your games in and playing really well at home.
We have. That's been a point of emphasis. We haven't played as well at home as what we wanted to the last 2 or 3 years. So we've adjusted. In this day and age, it's not just tell the kids what to do and they do it. Now, coaching has evolved to where you have to have an interaction with your players. You have to get input from your players. So, we had a sit-down meeting with our leadership council and with all of our team, even in the fall, going back that far, just to what we need to do to change our routine. What we needed to do to make adjustments, and we've listened and listened to our players and made some adjustments, and we made sure that they needed to understand that they had to make some adjustments as well. So it's been a good working relationship so far. I don't know that we're going to go undefeated, the whole season at home, but we've taken the steps necessary to play a little bit better at home than what we have the last couple of years.
Now, we've talked about over the last few years, too, in the move back to Conference USA, kind of ramping the program back up to where you can compete in this really, really talented league. Teams like Southern Miss and Rice are teams that will be playing and have played in the College World Series. So you want to get to where you can compete at that level, and you're getting there one game at a time.
Well, it's hard. I mean, it's hard with the teams that we play in our league. It's difficult when you play the kind of non-conference schedule that we play. We've already played at NC State. We've already played 3 at Georgia. We've got some tough games coming up with East Carolina and Arkansas coming in, and North Carolina and Wake Forest, and a whole bunch of other teams in between that are non-conference games. So, but we're making progress. Like our guys, like our team, we're still young in some areas. We're not going to use that as an excuse, but the reality is it takes some time to be able to develop the guys that we get in the program, and again, we're moving in the right direction.
When you're looking at your opponent or looking at other teams around the country and say, well, this team is really good at this or they're really good at that, do you feel like your team has an identity yet as to what your strengths are? You're still trying to figure out what you're going to be before the year's over?
We're still trying to figure it out. We've changed our lineup. We've gotten a little bit more athletic defensively, which we felt like we needed to do. We've got good assistant coaches. Coach Doty does a great job. Coach Robinson does a great job. Coach Simmons, our volunteer coach, does a great job. So, we try to get input from every source that we can and try to go about making the adjustments that we need to make. So we've been a little bit better offensively, I think, than what we thought we were going to be early in the season. And, again, defensively, I think we're going to evolve into a good defensive team before it's all said and done. And it's all about pitching, Matt. You've been doing this for a long time, whether it be at the major league level or whether it be at the college level. The more quality arms you can run out there, the better chance you have to win, and that allows you to be able to go on longer winning streaks if you've got good, especially good starting pitching.
Conference leaders right now in batting, the Niners hitting 340.
Easy.
Number 9 in the country right now too.
Easy.
But all of this goes back to the fall and even the summer after last season ends and all the preparation that goes into it to come out and swing the bats well. You mentioned Coach Robinson and get off to this hot start at the plate.
Again, firm believer for a long time in surrounding ourselves with good people, and Bo Robinson does a great job. He's an All-American for us. We've got a good plan. Coach Doty does a great job as well. Coach Simmons does a great job. But we use every resource we can. I think that the big thing about how we've been able to make the improvement that we've made since coming back to Conference USA is we use video. We use scouting reports. We use our own eyes and our own notes that we take, on a regular basis just to try to improve. And I think you got to always be forward thinking and try to use as much information as you can to try to help guys. There's a lot of launch angle stuff now and exit velocity and all those things that we look at and we try to apply to certain guys in our program, but we're not going to get away from the core things that we believe. And again, Bo does a great job with our players, working with them, breaking it down for them, and it's really helped our guys get better.
There's so much of that stuff now available to coaching staffs about opponents that you play. And you mentioned kind of being a little bit of the mix of the old school with the new school. You see at the professional level, a lot of teams going towards those analytics. How much, have you seen it really affect the college game?
Well, I think not only in college baseball, but in the athletic department, business, and in any sport, you have to be willing to be forward thinking and look at new ideas and fresh ideas. And again, we've kind of got it covered from every angle because Bo Robinson does a great job with written scouting reports that we get. We have a service that we're able to use and get that information. Coach Doty's a visual guy. He watches a lot of videotape, and he watches and breaks down a lot of that stuff. Coach Simmons does a good job of calling other schools and maybe trading scouting report information. I'm kind of the old school guy. When I started coaching 30-plus years ago, you just watched the game, you took notes, and you kept it kind of in your head. But what I will do is I will take information from all 3 of our assistant coaches, and then I go back and watch the video the next day. That seems to work best. So we've got every base covered that we could possibly have. And with kind of that 4-headed monster, we feel like we've got a chance to really get prepared the right way with our players, not make it too complicated, but utilize all the information we can possibly utilize to help our players get better individually and help our team and program, give us the best chance to be successful.
The old school stuff, you show up and you watch the team take infield. Who's got the good arm in right field? I can't run on him today. I can run on that guy.
And it's still relevant. I mean, those things and those principles are still relevant. And our players know that. Again, we give our players a chance to have input. I'll ask guys in game, what do you see from this guy? Are you seeing something with his pick move? I asked Reese Hampton the other day in game, what are you seeing? Because we play a very aggressive style and give our guys the freedom to shake pitches and throw the pitches they want to, from a pitching standpoint. We also give our guys the freedom to steal pretty much whenever they want to, unless I give them the stop sign. We got a signal system in place to do that. So, again, just trying to mix that old school and new school. And I think it's relevant not only in baseball, but it's relevant in our business. It's relevant, in basketball. It's relevant in football. And you've got to be open-minded enough to be able to look at new ways and better ways to do things.
stadiums are different now. Things are much more manicured. But one thing I was going to ask you with the turf you have on the infield, it's been a few years now. But what you're talking about, trying to line up and scout an opponent, you're going to get true hops. You can play maybe a guy, if you see the scouting report, he's going to hit towards the hole or hit up the middle. You can get to a ball because you're going to get a true hop if you're a little bit out of position.
Well, and that's a great point. And I've never been the type of guy many years ago to swing our defense one way or the other, but you watch Major League games, you watch AAA games, and they're putting on some shifts that are just incredible now, and all of it's statistical based. It's all of it's based on numbers. And again, being open-minded enough to, as a coach, to evolve as a head coach and our assistant coaches to look at that information. And we play based off the scouting report, but we also play based on how we're going to pitch certain guys. And that communication between myself and Coach Doty and Coach Robinson has really worked well in games. And sometimes we're going to be out of position, and sometimes we're going to maybe make mistakes that we would normally make. But again, the communication and the information that we get and how we communicate as a staff has really helped us become a pretty good defensive team over the last 4 or 5 years.
When you set up a certain way, the way you're going to pitch them, then you hope that guy on the mound can execute right and make that pitch.
Yeah, and with certain pitchers, we've got some guys that maybe throw more off-speed stuff, and we may have to play our third baseman a little bit more to the line with certain guys, and we'll adjust, pitch to pitch, based on how we're going to attack certain hitters. So it's all good. It's a lot more than just rolling the balls out there and taking batting practice and playing 9 innings. There's a lot more to it now, and again, really proud of the way we've evolved over the years to try to use every resource possible to give our team and players the best chance to be successful.
Let's take a timeout for a moment, step aside, come back, and have more with head coach Loren Hibbs talking about the Niner baseball team. And big weekend is the sweep against Siena this last weekend, 4 games there. So coming up more with that on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month, the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series, including Motor Trend's Truck of the Year F-150. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner.
Now during Ford Truck Month, get a 2018 F-150 with $11,000 total savings. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel, hotel.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Welcome back to Gold Mine Live with Sean Fox. I'm Matt Swarrat alongside head baseball coach Loren Hibbs, who's going to double again as my TV partner this summer with the Charlotte Knights. So once the season comes to an end, once you make your run to Omaha and kind of finish things up.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice. I might take a couple of days off and join you out there. That'd be kind of cool. A little mid-season vacation.
We make it to Omaha, and I'll pay for you to get out there.
Sounds like a deal. And convince Dan Rakowski that I can go. If you can do that, I will be there. But looking forward, you guys have 3 games uptown again this year, and one of them is going to be on the 27th, which is the last one. The night before that, the White Sox are in town. We'll be having some fun with that. So it's always a great situation now at that ballpark. You guys get to showcase your team to some different fans, and now with the light rail that's opening up, it's easy access for the folks that are uptown to get to campus. And if you engage them in uptown and get them going, they can just take that train right over here.
Well, it's, again, all great points, Matt. And we talk about branding at this university a lot, and one of the ways that we've been able to help, with our baseball program has been able to help UNC Charlotte with the branding is playing those games downtown. And with the light rail now, and, Dr. DeVos has done a great job and his staff of getting the light rail, out to this area. You got to give them a lot of credit for that. And one of the ways that we can help as a baseball program and athletic department is by playing games down there. And the students will be able to jump on the train. I guess is that the right terminology? The train,
is it?
Sure.
Sure.
And ride down there and see us play against great competition. And Dan and and all the night staff have been so good to deal with over the years. It's been a win-win because we've drawn really well down there, so the Knights have done well and being able to promote what they're doing. It's been great for Charlotte baseball and UNC Charlotte that we're able to play all those games down there.
And you try to get great competition. You got Wake Forest, you got Arkansas, which is a tremendous team, and you got North Carolina. So those are going to be 3 really fun nights.
It's going to be fun. People questioning, my sanity on scheduling sometimes, but we added Arkansas, for 2 games, and Coach Van Horn, known him for a long time, and they were willing to play us straight up home and home. And anytime you get a program the caliber of Arkansas to do that, we're going to take it every single time. And we played Georgia there a few years ago, and NC State, and all these really quality programs that we enjoy competing against. And I think it's a win-win for everybody.
You also have a great facility here at campus, of course, Hayes Stadium, and last year you set the series record of attendance against West Virginia. You got East Carolina coming in this week, another great team in the state of North Carolina. You want to break that series attendance record this weekend.
It'd be great. Playing an in-state opponent that is going to be a really good draw. We need people to show up. We need more green in the stands, and we need purple in the stands. So our fan base, needs to show up and be supportive of our players and program. But you mentioned West Virginia. We opened with them last year. They're an upper-level Big 12 team. We've got Arkansas is actually going to play us a game at Hayes Stadium this year, and several other programs in between that we have a lot of respect for. So it's all good. We're building an indoor facility. I know we've talked about that a little bit. Foxy's on the road trips with us, and we've talked about that. We've had baseball people step up with close to $500,000 for us in terms of fundraising over the last year or so. And then, our administration and our Mike Hummer and his staff have done a good job, with our athletic foundation to build what's going to be in the general ballpark about $800,000 indoor facility. So, got a lot of good things happening. I think that's really going to help us in recruiting. It's going to help us try to get that next level player, as well as player development. We need a place where we can go, when the weather's not so good. So. Hayes Stadium's a really good place to play, and again with the indoor facility, it's gonna enhance it even more.
Well, even fans now who come out before the indoor facility has broken ground, so many changes already with the new padded wall and the bullpen being shifted out towards shallow right field. So all of those changes are in the works with the hitting center right around the corner.
It's pretty cool. The bullpen is pretty neat. I mean, you can look into it like it's a big league bullpen, and again, really got to compliment baseball people, and we've had some alumni that have stepped up, and helped us with donating significant amounts of money to that indoor facility. And then, you got to give credit to Darren Spees and Mike Hummer and all the people that work here to try to help us with finding additional money to be able to do the outfield wall and be able to do the bullpen, and it's been a good working relationship.
Hitters love it when you move that right field fence in 10 feet, but the pitching staff, on the other hand.
Well, Coach Doty was freaking out because he's like, it's only 3:15 down the line, ball's going to be flying out. We've not had one ball yet that's been what we would consider to be a cheap home run. I think it has a lot more of an effect on balls hit down the line that end up being doubles now versus triples. And Reese Hampton wasn't real happy because he hits balls down the line. He's wanting to get triples out of it. But again, it's something that has really enhanced, I think, what is a nice facility to begin with. And once that indoor facility comes about, it's going to be close to 7,000 square feet. And it's going to be great for player development, for recruiting moving forward.
And it'll be down the right field line, which is why you had to move the bullpen, so it'll change the look of the stadium down the right field line a little bit.
It's a great point, and we're kind of landlocked down there, but we wanted to make sure and keep it inside the gates of the stadium. And again, it's going to be a really nice facility that will be done, in the fall of 2018.
Goldmine Live with head baseball coach Loren Hibbs. We continue with more in a moment here at the Student Union. It's spring break. There's a few folks hanging out now. Back with more in a moment on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month. The place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series, including Motor Trend's Truck of the Year F-150. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner.
Now during Ford Truck Month, get a 2018 F-150 with $11,000 total savings. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel, hotel.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party? Relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Welcome back to Gold Mine Live. Head baseball coach Loren Hibbs joining us this week as we have our final coaches show of the year. And first of all, I want to congratulate Coach. Some folks maybe don't realize this, but this offseason inducted into the Kansas Baseball Hall of Fame. Great player at Wichita State. Tremendous honor, Coach. And I joked with you when you first went, and I said, now you have to sign HOF and all the autographs down there at Hayes Stadium.
No. But to be recognized, it was really great for my family. My mom was able to be there, and you know, you do this business, Matt, and you and Foxy know it's a lifestyle. I mean, you have to have a full commitment from your wife, from your kids, and everybody else to allow, you know, us to do what we enjoy doing so much, and to be in Charlotte for 26 years now, and for the people in Wichita to recognize what we've done, not only in our time in Wichita, but what we've done out here. It's really neat, and to have my family there and share it with me was a cool deal.
And I know how proud you are, you know, Wichita State, and, you know, Coach Stevenson, the time you spent with him, and you know, just a tremendous honor. And I know you want to pull for the Niners in the NCAA tournament. Hopefully that's going to happen again soon. But your Shockers have a chance to maybe get to the Final Four this year.
I got 2 degrees from there, and really respect what they've done with the basketball program there, and I follow them all the time. And still got a lot of friends that go to the games that are season ticket holders. They lost a tough one yesterday to Cincinnati, but I think they're going to make a pretty good run in the tournament.
Well, let's talk about this season now. What's going to be coming up? Of course, you got a tremendous start right now at home. This last week you had the 4-game sweep of Siena. Player gets named Conference Play of the Week. Sean, tell us about that.
Drew Ober, who has battled back from, it seems like, injury after injury, like we were talking with Coach DeVos earlier, and is finally getting comfortable and getting back into the swing of things, and is now Player of the Week.
Yeah, he missed all summer with a shoulder injury. He missed most of the fall. He's a really good player. He's unorthodox, but he's athletic. He can run. He's got quickness with the bat. He's gotten himself into a position now where he's healthy enough to be able to play every day and play in the outfield for us. And really good player. Really happy for him, really proud of him, and glad that our team did well, but also glad that Drew got recognized in a positive manner.
You've got Drew out there in left. Reese is the centerpiece out there in the middle, and then one of the many new guys, Dominic Camerata in right field, anchoring down a pretty good outfield right now defensively.
Pretty good, and we got spoiled the last couple of years with Zach Jarrett and with Reese and with TJ. I mean, those are 3 pros in the outfield, and with Ober now, who's really athletic, and Dom's doing a good job. Dom caught and played first base most of the time when he was in high school and during his time at the University of Tennessee before he went to junior college. So, and then we got guys like Todd Elwood and Jake Whitcomb that are younger players that we can kind of plug in there late in the game if we need to, that add more athleticism. So, trying, man, you know how it is. You know how competitive it is. You got to be athletic and you got to be physical to be able to compete against the top level competition that we're playing against.
You also got a little pop in your lineup, too. You got 10 home runs so far through 12. And talk about that a little bit.
I hope it continues.
It continues, yeah. Weather warms up a little bit.
You know me. I mean, I'm going to downplay it. I mean, I'm proud of our guys, but we got a long way to go. And the pitching's going to get more difficult, and scouting reports get out there now, and there's so much video out there. There's a lot of things. We're going to have to continue to make adjustments. I think we're gonna make progress as we keep moving forward, because we're going to get guys stronger in the weight room, and as the years go on, guys like Tate Pennington, who's a freshman, that's he weighs about 165 pounds or something. I mean, he's a very good athlete. Played at Butler High School. Another one of the many local players that we have that are good players for us or have been over the years. So guys like that are going to continue to develop, but you got to be physical. I mean, you just have to be. You have to have that physicality in your lineup. You have to have power arms on the back end of the bullpen, and we're getting closer to that.
Have you seen the stadium, talking about the power numbers, have you seen the stadium change the way it plays? Now, you do these different upgrades and changes to the stadium. It sometimes can change the wind pattern, the way the ball flies. Have you noticed that?
Danny Montgomery, who played at Charlotte many years ago, and he's a higher up with the Colorado Rockies, Danny hit a whole bunch of home runs when he was playing here when they had a chain link fence and there was nothing behind.
This wind would blow through.
The wind would just blow through. And I kind of joked around and said, man, you wouldn't hit any home runs now at the way the stadium is. And he starts laughing. Just a great guy and a great, been very supportive of our program over the years. But it has changed. If the ball gets up in the air, it carries a little bit better. But most of the time the wind blows across from right field to left field, and it plays a little bit longer in right field traditionally, a little bit shorter in left field. But it's a good pitcher's park. If you make good pitches, you're going to get outs, and conversely, if you're a hitter that squares it up and you got some bat speed, you're going to get rewarded with a double or home run. It's a very fair ballpark.
And that could maybe change a little bit next year with the hitting facility because it's going to be in right field. It could maybe change some of the way the ball is going.
Hopefully we'll build more bat speed in that hitting facility.
There you
don't
go.
have to worry about which way the wind's blowing. But, again, it's going to be a nice addition and going to be something that we're going to be really proud of.
We'll talk about our pitching staff coming up in a moment, our last segment, as we close out the show after this break. This is Gold Mine Live on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network.
It's the one and only Ford Truck Month, the place to find one-of-a-kind deals on Ford F-Series, including Motor Trend's Truck of the Year F-150. With best-in-class towing and torque, these bad boys make the rules and break them. That's why it's America's best-selling truck 41 years straight. But like ribs at a barbecue, these deals won't last long. Ford Truck Month. It's buy now time, partner.
Now during Ford Truck Month, get a 2018 F-150 with $11,000 total savings. Only at your Carolina Ford dealer.
Sophie, his 13th birthday. Gift, we've got you. Guitar, coming tomorrow. Road game today, surprise party tomorrow. Change of plans. Game tomorrow.
No, birthday tomorrow.
Hotel, hotel.
Guitar, reroute.
Birthdays are on birthdays.
Party, relocate. UPS My Choice makes rerouting packages easy. How we're helping companies solve for the needs of customers like Sophie.
Welcome back to Gold Mine Live as we wrap up the show. Final segment with head coach Loren Hibbs. The Niners baseball team off to an 8-4 start, and right now 7-0 at home. Got big week coming up. Every week is big going forward as you get closer to conference play, coach. But tell us about what's coming up this week and next couple weeks really for you.
We're at High Point tomorrow, and then we got East Carolina for 3, and then we got Wake Forest next Tuesday down at BB&T Park, and then we open up conference play with FIU. So it's not easy. There's no easy games at all, and we got to show up and prepare the right way and play every single time to have a chance to be successful.
All starts at pitching. You guys are off to right now a 4-team ERA, winning 8 of your first 12. I know you like this pitching staff. What do you think is the strength of it right now?
Well, Maciejewski's been real good on the front end for us, and we've moved him into that one hole. Matt Brooks has struggled a little bit early in the season, a little bit mechanical. He's such a hard worker and such a competitor. We're still trying to get that situation figured out, but he threw better this weekend. And then we've used Joey Cooner in the 3-hole junior college guys, a junior college All-American at Crowder Junior College in Missouri. It's kind of our 3-hole guy, and moved Jonah Patton back to the bullpen. We kind of used him as a starter in the season, but he feels a lot more comfortable being on the back end of the bullpen, and then just trying to build as much depth as we can with both left and right-handed options, out of our bullpen. So, and then finding a 4th starter, Chase Gooding, another junior college guy, threw really, really well yesterday in the 4-hole. Colby Bruce, the guy that we used down at Charleston the other day and threw well. So, again, you can't have enough bullets in the gun, so to speak, from a pitching perspective. We've got to have as many options as possible and continue to develop those guys. And Coach Doty does a really good job. It's his 2nd year with Coach Doty as our pitching coach, and he's done a good job evaluating guys. We've got a good recruiting class coming in, a mix of junior college and high school arms that I think are really going to help us.
That's great having a number 1 guy like John Maciejewski, but, you're 1, 2, 3 on the weekend. You're going to have those. It's the ones in the middle of the week. You're talking about getting that depth because those are the games you got to try to keep it close enough to score enough runs to win, because in the end, that's the difference between 30 wins and 40 and 45.
You're exactly right, and a lot of schools will schedule down the midweek. We go the other way. We schedule, the same as Conference USA or maybe even slightly better. So our number 4 starter has to be a weekend guy pretty much, and again, that's something that we've done for years from a scheduling perspective. We're going to keep doing it, and it forces us to build depth. I mean, we have to. We've done it for a long time. We did it last year with Matt Brooks. Matt Brooks ended up throwing in the 1-hole for us in the conference tournament, opened the conference tournament against Louisiana Tech for us down in Biloxi, and we just need to keep again, developing more guys.
You know, it's a big word there because, you know, unlike professional baseball where if there's a need during the week, you can bring a guy up from, you know, from a different level to fill a hole. You don't have that option. And you can project a guy that's going to be maybe a top of the rotation guy maybe later in his career, but you still got to find a way to make the most out of that staff that you have because it's not going to change.
I tell our coaches that all the time. There's nobody coming in, you know, in the middle of March. I mean, we're not going to bring anybody up from AA or AAA. It is what it is. We got 34 guys on the roster, and you know, the other part of it is Colton Laws really developed last year and ended up being a 7th-round pick, and he was only a redshirt sophomore, so he had 2 more years of eligibility left, and we lost him, which kind of hurt a little bit, I'll be honest with you, but we were happy for him. We lost Brett Netzer, you know, another guy, a junior, was drafted in the 3rd round. We felt like we were going to lose him, you know, at some point in time. Maybe lost him and a little bit earlier than what we thought. And then we lost an incoming high school guy. They ended up being a 7th-round pick, a left-handed hitting outfielder that was going to have a chance to come in and pretty much play right away. So we lost 3 guys early to the draft, so to speak, and it's hard sometimes to just roll right to the next guy, you know, without some developmental time. And that's kind of what happened to us early in the season, and we just have to continue to find as many guys as possible to fill those gaps.
That's the biggest challenge, really, for college baseball at the high level is just replacing the guys that you're going to lose, and you recruit them hoping that they're going to be that kind of player, so you do lose them, but it still does sting sometimes when it happens. Let's talk about some of the guys that have moved on. Spring training has been going on for a couple of weeks now in Florida and Arizona, and we've got some former Niners doing a great job right now.
We had 4 guys drafted last year, and none of those guys were drafted out of high school. So I think that speaks volumes to what we were able to do with, you know, with player development and their work ethic. I mean, they bought in and it paid off for them. You know, Brett Netzer and T.J. Nickting have both played in Major League spring training games and done very well. They haven't been overmatched. And, you know, and just corresponding back with those guys and texting them, I just keep telling them they belong because they do. I mean, they performed at a high level against Conference USA competition. And, you know, the jump is big from Conference USA level to the Major League level, but it's not as big as what some people think. And, you know, from doing AAA, the level of competition that we are playing is very similar to a high A ball, double A ball level, and that next jump up is not as wide, or the gap is not as big as what most people would think it is. So both those guys are doing well. Zach Jarrett's doing well. Colton Laws is doing well. And, you know, those guys are great representatives of our program and hopefully get a chance to play in the big leagues at some point in time.
Well, there's also a big jump, too, when you play 50 games in a college season. You get into that kind of back end of the minor league season. But now these guys are coming around to where they may play a 140 full-game minor league schedule. They've never done that before.
Well, and that's another great point, Foxy, about, you know, the development and you know, we do a good job of getting guys out in the summer and playing. So whether it be Zach Jarrett or TJ or whoever it is, or Netzer, those guys get out and play and get a lot of at-bats in the summer, so it helps prepare them to the best of their ability to be able to play pro baseball.
Well, tomorrow hopefully the weather holds, Coach, and you can have that game at High Point. And great crowds hopefully this weekend for East Carolina. Good luck against the Pirates, and we will see you very soon.
Well, enjoyed being here with you guys, and go Niners.
Head coach Loren Hibbs. I want to thank Sean Fox. I'm Matt Swerat. Thanks so much for joining us on Goldmine Live, and join us again for Niner Baseball Uptown games the 13th, the 20th, the 27th. They'll be on the Charlotte IMG Sports Network. Until then, so long, everybody.